I gotta do that all over. Okay, this is my old batter that I made for the pizzas, and I took some nutmeg in it and see how I'm swirling it all about. And then right over here is bulgur wheat. About a half cup, 3/4 cup bulgur wheat, 2.5 cups of bread flour, about a tablespoon of a little less of high gluten flour. It's really powerful stuff. Half cup shredded carrots, 1/4 cup raisins, nutmeg, cinnamon, salt, 3/8 cup of yeast, and a tablespoon of sugar to make it a little sweet. And I'm going to do a swirl. And we got our water at about 110 degrees, 105. I like to make it so it's just barely warm to my touch, to my hand. I mean like warm, not like tepid room warm. Because actually if you stick your finger in some water that's 70 degrees, it will actually, it'll feel lukewarm is the concept. Well, we don't want lukewarm. We don't want hot. We don't want to stick our finger in and go, boy, that's a little warm. We want to just stick it in and go, just a touch warm. Just a touch. Now you see what that bulgur wheat does? That bulgur wheat ain't no joke. It sucks up moisture big time. I got to do this. I'm running low on yeast. I'm always running low on something. I forget. I knew that I needed something over there, and I was standing in front of the spice section at Winco. Really like to take you guys shopping. I'm going to ask John, the general manager over at Winco in Springfield, because I shop there a lot. And they all know me, and they know about my cooking show. A lot of them watch my show. And general manager, I've talked to him about it before. See, people get really excited when I go into a restaurant or into the grocery store and I start talking about food. Somebody says, how do you make an Alfredo sauce? And I go, take some garlic, chop it down, put in olive oil, put some white wine in it, reduce, put in some milk, put in some heavy cream, put in some cornstarch that's mixed with cold water. It's cornstarch slurry, put in your Parmesan, add a little bit of wine at the end, salt and pepper. That's Alfredo, okay. And I just keep going. Somebody's like, what? And somebody else is like, man, how do you make this? And I'd be like, and just, you know. And I had this one lady ask me, like, she saw me smelling oranges, right? And I smell my food, you know, because you can really tell so much from the smell of an orange. Is it sweet smelling, like it's ripe? Is it over sweet? Is it watery? Is it dry? Is it green? Is it way too far and rot? All these things you can tell just by smelling it, man. Alright, that's put some on my deck. I got a new thing for my flour. This is my mom bought me this. My new flour thing. I got dedicated a show to Dorothy. Maybe a song or something. I don't know. It hasn't hit me yet until I get like a Christmas card back, and I'm praying that wherever she is, she's happy. God got her. She's my friend who was 87 when I moved in over on M Street. When you all saw me having all that fun, making all that cool stuff, and having no problem with the neighbors, and getting along with all the kids, and having, you know, because, you know, it's my rule, I gotta meet your parents. Kids would actually drag me blocks to meet their parents, so I could, you know, so they could hang out with me, because I had a rule, you know. Like, if I don't know your parents, and if I can't know your name, and if your mom wants to meet me, then I'll happy to call her, and you know what I mean, or I'd walk over to her house and make introductions, and I, but your mom has to okay all that. Your mom has to contact me. And that's just, I respect other people's children. Very important in this day of age to be very clear with children. Because I had children try to they forget the rules of stranger danger because I'm a really nice guy and they go to tell me their name and stuff. And I'm like, you don't have to don't tell me your name. I don't want to know your name. You don't have to tell me that. And because really their parent isn't going to want them to tell me their name unless the parent has met me. That's my rule. Can't tell me your name until I met your parent. Anyways, kids are great though. They make me forget my handicap. Playing with kids, listen, look, they make me forget things. I'm in the water, they're just running. Just start running. Kids. Alright. People call me a child molester here. Poison the children. They pull their children inside. I won't let them talk to me. All these things. Twice in my life. Twice. My son was 5 years old. We were arguing and I wanted him to go in the house, get his treatment, and I slipped back into something that happened when I was young with just you turn around and go, like I used to be told. And he looked over his shoulder at me, and that look, I didn't hit him, I didn't smack him, I didn't push him into anything. I just turned him and said, you go. And he went like that and then looked back at me. Things you learn, man. And the second time, I'm living with this lady and we're getting ready to get married and we're, fiance, and we're raising this kid together. And she spanked him, but only after, really working on a situation. I can't tell you this story. It's not right to tell you. I'm going to write it in my book. But basically, no, I'll tell you. I'm an open person. I'm just going to tell you. Alright, so the second time in my life, I spanked this little boy. Now the problem was, he had an argument with his mom, and he was to get spankings if he pottied on the floor, because she thought he was doing it on purpose. She was very upset that he would always potty all over the place, so he would get spankings. And I tried to talk to him, and I really didn't want to, and then she told me to give him a spanking, and just so I gave him a spanking. Not very hard, a couple of times. And I explained why, as an adult would try to explain why he did violence to a child, a spanking or whatever. This is what changed me forever, okay? This little boy comes to me later because he wants to be a good boy. He wants to make his mom happy. He doesn't want to potty on the floor. He's a big boy, 5 years old. So he comes to ask me because I'm a man. Because his mom doesn't know about this. And he goes, John, when I'm going potty, I get this stiff feeling. And I don't know what to do, and it makes the potty go everywhere. Do you understand? And I said, oh, young fellow, as us men go, I want you to lean forward and just push down on it, and it'll go in the potty. Do you understand what I did by hurting that child? And I had to tell him. I had to tell him and let him know that I was very, very wrong for spanking him because I didn't understand. And I wanted him to talk to me more. I have never ever raised my hand or spanked a child ever again. It's about 20 years since that happened. He went to the Army, good kid, got married. Anyways, twice in my life, man. But that moment, see, I understand what happens to children, and if they're messed with in any form of their mind, with any form of their growth, okay? Now, I was just giving the kid a swat on his butt pail through his pants, you know, over my knee. But the reality of what was going on with him was like, man, I was glad I was able to be there to give him the answer and also be there to tell him I was wrong. Alright, I'm going to finish this bread later.